Hello and welcome to
SpearCast.
SpearCast. My name is Nick,
And I'm Christian.
and we're just two dudes just trying to just grow in San Jose State University and talk about the sports as a whole.
Spartans.
And Spartans, anything else in the world. So we're going to see what we get into. First things first, same as last episode, Christian, we got to talk about the football, man.
Yeah. Another loss. It was a pretty rough day for the Spartans at SFQ Stadium on Friday. I think the worst part is the Spartans had the lead going into the second half. You know, when you're up 2017 at halftime, you're feeling pretty good. And it just all fell apart. And, you know, the main story of the game was not the Spartans but the Air Force and how the Spartans weren't able to stop the Air Force's ground game. I mean, it's kind of ironic how the Air Force, an academy known for the military branch for, air raids and flying, their main offensive attack is on the ground, the run game. I mean, 400 rushing yards in that game. Out of 428 total offensive yards, 400 of those are rushing yards. I mean, especially at the college level where the air raid passing offenses are all the rage right now, and they have been for a while. It's just so unique to watch a team like Air Force just dominate on the run game. And it just kind of felt like at most points San Jose State just had no way to stop it. I mean, even if you look at the time of possession, Air Force almost had 40 minutes. It was 39 minutes and 5 seconds compared to the Spartans' 20 minutes and 55 seconds. I mean, I think that tells the story of the game right there. We just got dominated. Another rough loss.
That's what it looked like. I mean, I remember you just telling me about the game, and I was just like, we were up at half, and then and then we got ran on. And, because, I feel like, even then, with Cordero, all of our running backs, our coaching staff, and everything like that, you would think, after last season as well, being able to reach a bowl game and having this type of start, 1-4 now, it's just, I don't know, man. It's just a tough scene for the Spartans right now on the gridiron, at least, just because of, everything that was expected of them, especially with someone like Cordero, who's as good and as dominant as he was, preseason player of the year, like we talked about last episode. But at the same time, I feel like, what was our throwing yards, if you can think of, or if you can find it.
Yeah, I have the box score right here.
But what's it called? I don't know. I feel like someone with Cordero who knows he can throw the ball, who knows he can run. I feel like I never really saw anything of running. Of him at least running.
Yeah. So our total offensive yards for the Spartans were 354 total, 239 of which were passing, and 115 rushing yards. So it was, of course, more balanced than the Air Force, but still a lot more passing. But it wasn't a great day. I feel like a lot of those passing yards came towards the end of the game. We were starting to throw a little more just when we were down pretty in a big hole. But yeah.
Yeah, but obviously I wasn't at the game. I was dealing with some stuff on Friday. But what would you say was the biggest problem that obviously, of course, we couldn't stop their running game and everything like that. But what do you think in your eyes besides that we could have done better in?
Well, another side of it is you look at our offense. We didn't score again in the second half. We had 20 going into the first half, and we finished the game with 20 points. So it makes you wonder what is happening in that locker room at halftime. Why are we stalling in the second half? And it was pretty rough stalling. It was 3 and outs, and it just felt like the Spartans couldn't get anything going for them on offense. And then of course defense was huge. Air Force has the best rushing game in the country in college football. We couldn't stop it. I remember a point where the game was still close going into the fourth quarter, and it was a 1-score game. And Air Force had the ball at the goal line, right at the 1-yard line, and then it was 4th down and 1. So we're like, oh, if we get a stop here, we're still in this game. But it was a rush.
All over.
Yeah, it was a 1-yard rush to Emmanuel Michel. That running back had an amazing game for Air Force. He just hopped over that little scrum right there. It was old school football. Everybody was right there. No receivers, it felt like. And it was just he just hopped right over and ended up in the end zone. And then it was and then you could kind of feel on the Spartan sideline. I was there near the sideline. There was just kind of a sigh of oh man, that might have been it.
Would you say that obviously, from what it sounds like, would you say that the football team for the Spartans, they were just defeated? They were just unmotivated?
Yeah, and I think that I would give that credit to Air Force's just play style of just running the ball and wasting the clock and just kind of making it dread and go on and on. It just feels like, man, it makes when a team runs on you like that, you just feel like you feel defeated.
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, like, they couldn't stop the ball. So, like, what else can you do? What else? But, I mean,
Yeah.
being up at half by 3 and then being just losing as bad as they did, 42-20 by the end of it, that had to have been such a tough loss for them. And that locker room talk must have been interesting. But, at the end of the day, I mean, what can you do? I mean, but, speaking of that, I mean, football wasn't the only team to lose, though. We also had our soccer teams as well.
Yeah, so men's soccer, they lost to UC Davis, and earlier in the week they did beat Sacramento State 4-1. But in their loss versus UC Davis, it was no goals scored, and they allowed 3 goals. So, it was a rough weekend for the Spartans, if I'm going to be honest. In general, not just any of these specific teams.
Yeah, it was a rough week being a student here of San Jose State and being a fan of athletics, because. Yeah, of course, you got the win, but I mean, how much did we lose by?
3-0.
3-0. That's a tough loss. Yeah, I mean, but I mean, at the same time, I feel like these sports, because they did start almost each sport did start their conference play, so it's all like their actual opponents, and we're gonna see them again one way or another at the end of the and still early on in the season. Like I said, we're still at conference play, but like losing having how many sports lose? We had football, soccer, both soccers, volleyball, and water polo as well. We had 4 sports. Oh, and I think I counted football, right?
Yeah.
I did. Having 4 sports lose over the week over one weekend, it's definitely tough for San Jose right now. But it's still, like I said, it's still early on in the season. There's still room to expand and grow, but that's fine. But break it down for me. Like, what happened in that soccer game?
I mean, it was just a UC Davis domination, I would say. I mean, to not score at all and give up 3 goals. I mean, it was a rough game. I mean, and the thing was too about UC Davis is they had 3 different goal scorers, so it wasn't one person on the attack. It was just like UC Davis was able to play more like a team, and and get those opportunities and get those shots in the goal. And that's what matters in soccer more than anything else, is getting the ball in the goal.
Yeah, and of course, that's the men's side of it. But what happened with the women's side? What happened with their result? I know it wasn't that bad compared to everything else.
Yeah, so the women they started conference play last Thursday, and they actually had a draw against New Mexico. It was their Mountain West Championship celebration night from the previous season, as they started conference play against the Lobos, and it was a 1-1 draw. The goal scorers for us were Kennedy Mayo. She scored the goal, and then Benta Pernod was our goalkeeper, and she had the 3 saves on the night with the 1 goal allowed. So it was. I mean, for a conference match, it kind of shows you that this conference is going to be. It's not going to be a cakewalk for the Spartans. Like, it's going to be a tough rest of the schedule for us. And then of course, in our second conference game was against San Diego State, and that was also on Sunday, and that was also a 2-2 draw. The goal scorers for us that day were Taylor Phillips and Evan House. And on that day, Benta Pernod put up a pretty good stat sheet. I mean, she did have 2 goals allowed, but she had 9 saves. So, I mean, it could have been a lot worse of a game. And Benta had 6 saves in the second half of her 9. So that was like a pretty good second half that kept the Spartans in the game. And unfortunately, we're still winless in conference play, but we haven't lost yet. So,
I mean, if you're lossless, I mean, that's a good takeaway. I mean, no losses is better than a loss. I mean, that's for sure. But of course, ties still suck. But you know what?
Yeah.
We're pushing through. We're pushing through. Of course, I want to see these teams go well. Especially as my first semester at the university level, I would love to see like some of these teams go well. Of course, we're part of the Spear, and like it's our job to essentially write about these things and like hopefully hope things go well, because writing about win is always easier. But at the same time, as the fan aspect of it, I really hope that these teams go well. I would love to see like more of our teams make it far.
Yeah, and just a quick correction. Sabrina Weinman actually was the one with the second goal scored, and Taylor Phillips. Evan House had the assist on an earlier goal.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then what's it called? And then what other sport had 2 other games? Oh, women's volleyball. Women's volleyball, finally finished up their long trek from being all over the country. Of course, we had our last 2 games away. Our first two conference games were away at the University of Nevada of Las Vegas, I think it's called. You can just UNLV.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing.
The Rebels.
The Rebels, yeah. And then we went to San Diego State as well, in
Yes.
which against the Rebels in Vegas, we lost. We got swept. We lost 0-3. But you know what? That game. It was a tough one. You know, obviously we don't want to lose our first open conference games at the same time. But you know what? We did. But you know what? It's fine. We're still early on in the season. We're still the volleyball team is still 9-4 at to this day right now. And as of recording, you know, we have a game on Thursday, which is going to be our first home game in over a month at this point, which is going to be cool for them. But going back to their second conference game of the season, San Diego State University, we lost that game 3-1 sets. We were only managed to win the opening set, and after that we kind of just lost it. You know, with the scores of, we won the first set 25-14, just domination of that first set. But then we started to lose it, 26-25, 25-18, and then 25-23. I feel like the team had some heavy hitters and everything like that, but as long as everyone on the team stays consistent, that's fine. Against San Diego State, Letty Camalucci had 16 kills, which is still really impressive overall. Tia had 13 kills, while junior Brooke Bryant had 11 kills as well. And then as well, coming out of this weekend, there's actually big news for the volleyball team. Senior Gianna Lawson is now ranked number 2 in the country for total blocks, only being beat out by Sophie Thompson with 85, while Lawson has 82. What do you think about that?
I mean, it's pretty cool to see the Spartans, anybody on the Spartans leading stats across the country. So any recognition we get, I think it's great for our team, our program, our school, and all of our athletics in general, you know?
Yeah, because, to even then, have guys go professionally as well, like last year, like Elijah Cooks, Charles McAdoo, you know, seeing all those, big names and, beating out other schools, you know, all the other athletes. It's cool to see, all the representation, and especially in our small school.
Mm-hmm.
But then as well, you know, but heavy hitter Blair Fleming was out in these 2 games, in this conference opening games. And unfortunately, it was due to injury. But, you know, I feel like once she gets back into the matches, if she does, hopefully, she would definitely still be a big threat for the Spartans, as she currently leads right now with 189 kills in the season so far, and we're just entering conference. I feel like her mixing in with Tia and Camalucci, those 3 right there, easily the best hitters on the team right now. No one else comes close to them, essentially. And I feel like they just read the defense really well, and they just know how to hit the ball. And like I said, behind Brooke Bryant, those 2 are the heavy hitters. So I feel like once those 3 come back and all healthy, it's going to turn around their season. I feel like they can have another chance at reaching the Mountain West Championship or even just taking it all.
And I think that's something that all these teams can take in is it's still a lot of conference time left.
Oh, yeah, easily.
All these teams have opportunities to turn around their season. So, you know,
yeah, because it's still early on. And like Christian said, it's not over. We can still easily do it.
Yeah.
But besides that, what else had going on, Christian?
We had our men's water polo team. They went into the last weekend ranked 9th in the country. But after 2 losses, they're definitely going to fall.
Yeah, and as of right now, according to the rankings of week 3, which is September 20th, which is last week, the rankings have yet to change, but we are still tied for 9th. But of course, these rankings are likely to change either today or tomorrow. So, but as of right now, according to the NCAA, they are ranked 9th.
Yeah, and I expect us to fall somewhere down in the later teens, and that's because we had 2 matches on Saturday. We played number 15th, Loyola Marymount, and we also played UC Santa Barbara in the second match down in L.A. We played both their teams in L.A. And, we lost to Loyola Marymount 17-12, and then we lost to UC Santa Barbara 13-9. And in both games, especially the Loyola Marymount game, it was back and forth the whole half. But in both games, there was a point, especially in the second halves, where the other teams would just they would get a larger lead, and then it just the Spartans got buried, and they couldn't get out of that hole, you know. And it was closely contested though, But I mean, when you lose 2 matches like that, it was our first 2 losses of the year. So now on the season we're 2-2. You just look ahead to what's the next, and the Spartans are going to be traveling down to Irvine on September 30th this week. And their first match is going to be against UC Davis, a rematch of a team we beat earlier this season. So it's going to be a tough season for the men's water polo team, starting off on 500. But there was a lot of good out of these games too.
You want to know a little fun fact about water polo team?
Yeah.
There's actually someone from my JUCO there on the roster.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Nicky Matheson. He's a sophomore right now, but he's getting there. Hasn't started a game yet.
Nope.
But that's fine.
He did get a goal against Loyola Marymount.
Well, there you go. Because right now online, nothing has changed statistically wise. But you know what? That's fine though. But yeah, it's cool. Like I remember seeing that for the first time, and I was just like, oh hey, he's from Valley. He got taught under Coach McMillan down there, who is an all-star coach. He has coached so many All-Americans. He was the assistant coach for the Olympic team. Yeah, he played at Pepperdine. He is just, and he's such a good guy, Coach McMillan down there.
Nice.
But seeing Matheson up here, I thought that was cool for me. But small little fact for you.
Yeah, little personal side to this.
Yeah, exactly.
It's always cool to find.
Yeah. So but it's always cool to find a little connection like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I think one of the highlights for the Spartans of that water polo day though down in LA, even though they didn't win, Junior Bensa Sasbo had a hat trick for the Spartans in the second match of the day, and that was definitely like the highlight of the day. And another thing I noticed too in both games, especially the first one, the Spartans had like a variety of scores that match. So,
how much was the score? What was the score?
In the first one, we scored 12. We lost 17-12.
In water polo games, it always amazes me how high these numbers get ran up. I don't know about you.
Yeah, me too, definitely. I mean, I kind of felt like a little disappointed that in the second match we didn't crack 10. We didn't get double digits. We only got 2.
Yeah,
9 goals.
Did you have water polo at your junior college?
I did not.
I remember at mine, I think they would run up the score up 20.
Yeah.
It's wild and how much these guys can score in there.
It's impressive. It's impressive how fast the ball goes. It's impressive how they try to juke out the goalkeeper. It's just all of it is
and then
swimming.
Yeah, and then with the goalkeepers, I don't know if you watch the match, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if obviously I've watched it in person. At how good that these goalies are to be able to kick with that much force under the water to stay floating as they do, to keep their full upper half of their body above the water.
Yeah,
it's honestly crazy to me. But these guys have been doing it for years and years and years. So their legs, they are ginormous.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just to stay afloat in the water, at every position. I don't know, man. I could probably play water polo for a little bit, but then
I'd be able to swim for 2-3 minutes tops.
Yeah.
I am not fit at all, and for them to swim top speed almost every day, and as consistent as they do, it's just something else. I don't know. Yeah. I have the most respect for these guys, and it's just something that I really wish I really want them to turn around, especially since that's our only team that's ranked nationally as of right now. It's something impressive, and I feel like that's something that we can definitely keep going for, and even then probably even lead to a Mountain West championship or even a NCAA championship. That'd be cool to see, especially at a small school like this.
Yeah, and honestly, I feel like water polo is one of the most underrated sports. Nobody watches it, but if you actually sit down and watch a game of water polo,
it's interesting.
Especially a close one like these ones this weekend, back and forth. It's whoa.
Hey, yeah, the ball just gets thrown all over. It's a crazy sport, but like you said, not a lot of coverage with it, yeah. But it definitely deserves it. But I think that these guys, what they're doing, it's definitely something impressive, especially being ranked, beating out schools like Long Beach State University, UC Irvine, UC Santa Barbara, all these schools that and Harvard University, some of these schools, they're known for the athletics and everything, and being able to be nationally ranked, it's something that's cool, and I feel cool to be a Spartan. But obviously not over the weekend with all the losses. But you know what? It's fine. It works.
Yep, they putting San Jose State on the map.
I bet you. While we're here in our 2 years, so 8 semesters, we're gonna have at least another team win one big championship. Of course, last semester we had baseball win the Mountain West and compete in the College World Series playoffs. But I feel like at the end of the day, we're going to see at least one other team, whether it be beach volleyball, golf, water polo, football, baseball, whatever it is. I feel like we're going to win something. I mean, of course, I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, I think the athletics department has gotten better and better, and Spartans athletes as a whole have gotten better, and they're getting better recruits now. Hopefully the NIL deals can help entice some more players, And
Speaking of NIL deals, like of course me and you talk about the Fernando, and maybe we can expand on it on here. What's the biggest NIL deal that like a player has here, or like the most known? Because you can talk about, and then you can talk about what you know.
I mean, honestly, I don't think the NIL scene has gotten that great here. I mean, I think they have a lot of room to improve. Like, one of the biggest things is this website called Open Doors is what it's called. It's like
Something
Open
like that, I
Doors,
think it is.
and it's where you can like purchase autographs or like a
That's what it is. I
Yeah.
remember clicking the website because on the athletics website you can click on NIL.
Mm-hmm.
I clicked on it. I was like, I don't know what it was. I don't know. It was like autographs and stuff.
It's almost like those. I would compare it to those websites where you can like have a celebrity make a video for you.
Cameo.
Cameo, yeah.
Yeah,
I'd compare it to that.
That's exactly what I thought it was.
But instead of celebrities, it's
Yeah,
your favorite
I thought it
SJs.
was gonna be like an athlete being like, hey, it's blah blah blah. Thanks for support. We love you guys. I thought it was gonna be something like that. I didn't know it was like autographs and stuff. That's cool actually.
Yeah, and you can get autographs. You can get
And of course, it's probably like their family or something like supporting them, or like if if they do have fans, they have fans. That's cool.
Exactly. And so one of the more unique deals here on campus is football player, offensive lineman Fernando Carmona Jr. He actually has a burrito named after him at Cali. Everybody knows Cali Wet Burrito, California Wet Burrito, right there on Williams Street.
No, not everybody knows it. This is my first time hearing about it, and I'm from Southern California.
Well, it's right here, a block away from campus. Right here, a block away from campus. I've heard on the street that they have the best burritos around the area. Okay. I'm not saying my personal opinion. I'm not ranking anything right now. But that's what I've heard. And he has a burrito there. It is huge, like him. He is a huge man because he's an offensive lineman here at a D1 school. And the burritos makes sense that the burrito's that big. It's a double meat burrito, double cheese. It's a monster.
It's something only a lineman can take down. That's for sure.
Yeah, and it's cool to hear about. I actually asked him a little bit about it, and it's cool to hear about the relationship started just by him going there. He loved their burritos, but he would always order the same burrito. And the first time he tried it, he thought it was too small, so he would always double everything. And then it kind of became a relationship with that the restaurant owner, the manager, and they were able to kind of strike a deal with. It started off as just like he would kind of post about them and promote like that burrito, and you would have to ask for it Fernando style, but eventually it ended up having his name on the menu. He also has a code where you can get a free drink, and they're working on some other stuff as well.
6'5", 325, by the way.
6'5", yeah.
That is not a man. That is a unit.
Yeah.
That is a unit.
That's why he plays O-line for the Spartans.
I would definitely love to take like just to buy it and see like how like big it is myself, like see it from my own eyes. But me being barely 6 foot, probably not even like 180 pounds, probably like a little bit over, it would take me a day to finish that at least.
Yeah, I mean, last week at the press conference, I actually asked head coach Brent Brennan about what he thought about the burrito and if he tried it. And he said it makes sense that it's an O-line burrito. And getting through that thing on a single sit down is quite a task.
Yeah, I mean, it would require a man and a half in order to get that down in one sitting, because there ain't no way like people like our size are getting it down.
We can split one, Nick.
I'm down to try it. I mean, it'll take me a while. Yeah, but what's it called? And that's pretty much everything San Jose.
Mm-hmm.
What else happened in collegiate? Oh, like we talked about last time, Colorado once again, but this time they have been finally dethroned by the Ducks of Oregon.
Yeah, and I think people might have seen that coming eventually. They're still a rebuilding team, even though they started off with a hot start. They were a team that was 1-11 last year, and this is a brand new staff, a lot of new players, so it was expected. And they're still an amazing story no matter what, right?
Yeah, and I think, if I'm still right, Travis Hunter was still out, right?
Yes.
Yeah, of course, after the big injury last week, of course he was. But after that, I mean, they were just they just got dominated.
Yeah, Oregon Ducks look like a very complete
Yeah,
team.
because I think they were ranked. We're gonna have to double check this real quick. Ranked number 4. Correct me if I'm wrong, which I'm pretty sure I am. But yeah, I mean, with Colorado, like Christian said, like them only being a brand new team essentially, like it's gonna be tough for them to beat these heavy hitters because they really haven't had that big of an opponent. I would say, in my opinion, in terms of like whether it be Oregon, I feel like that's easily the biggest opponent that they faced so far. What do you think, Christian?
Yeah, definitely. That was the best opponent. And what I'm reading is Oregon is ranked 9th now, so I'm not sure what they were ranked before.
Yeah, well, correction, 9th.
Yeah. But that was definitely the best team that the Colorado's played yet. And, I mean, they're still going to have a tough schedule going in. The Pac-12 is really legit this year. If you're looking at Colorado, they play USC next week, who's ranked 8th. So it's back-to-back ranked opponents for Colorado. And Colorado did fall out of the rankings because of that loss, was kind of got dominated.
Losing to an Oregon opponent, and of course being in the Pac-12 and everything. But I mean, if you're losing to, I mean, if you're just looking at it, of course everyone's gonna think, oh, you lost on number 9th. You're easily gonna beat out the number. You're easily gonna lose to the number 8 guy. But at the same time, like you don't know what Colorado can pull out. They can easily watch a lot of USC film and everything like that. You can learn some plays, but at the same time, Coach Prime was really shut down though on all of his plays. Like they couldn't get any passing down and everything like that. So we're gonna see what the Shador family can do.
Yeah, definitely. And I wouldn't be surprised if Colorado ends up back in the rankings. Just looking at the top 25, 25th is a Mountain West rival, Fresno State. And I think if you put Fresno State in a match against Colorado, I would bet that Colorado wins.
That's just my opinion. That's a wild take.
Yeah, I think so. And
I'm not a big football guy, but I mean that sounds like a crazy take. Oh, but I mean Fresno State's 4-0. Jeez, never mind then. I might bet on that with you, sir. But
yeah, I mean Fresno's played some good opponents. They beat a couple Power 5 schools, but I think Colorado is still, if they have Travis Hunter and they're fully healthy, I think Colorado could still crack the top 25 by the end of the season.
Oh, easily, I believe. But it's just gonna be a task. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But besides that, what else had happened recently? Oh, the Dodgers beat out your Giants in the series back in LA. Yeah. How do you feel about that, sir?
Season's kind of over. We brought some rookies up, so it was nice to see some of our rookies ball out a little bit for their first time, getting their first hit, first home runs. And it's just kind of like the Giants. There's a lot of angst amongst the fans, a lot of question marks that the fans have, and people are going to expect change of the Giants, and are we going to get it? We don't know. I'm just hoping we go out with a little dignity.
It's okay.
Our last series of the year against the Dodgers.
You're only 5 games back of the wild card. You guys got it. Yeah. You'd only have to sweep us in the series this weekend.
Padres, yeah.
But you know what? We both know that's not gonna happen. but like you said though, San Francisco is playing the Padres. They would only have to really beat them. They would have to either sweep them or take most of the series, and then they would have to hope that Miami or Cincinnati loses.
Yeah. And we can only hope.
At this point, you guys can only hope. But you know what? It's gonna be fun for the both of us at least. Mm-hmm. Me and you are going to that Friday game.
San Jose State night.
San Jose State night, and I'm pretty sure in terms of from San Jose State, I'm fairly confident I'm gonna be the only one wearing blue.
Yeah, maybe in the San Jose State section, but Dodger fans tend to make that.
Oh, I'm gonna see it blue.
Yeah,
I'm gonna see that stadium blue. That orange is gonna be nothing.
Yeah, and then in other news, when it comes to San Francisco pro teams, the 49ers played last Thursday, and actually, my co-host here, Nick, attended that game, and you want to talk about that a little bit, just how the game went?
Yeah, I mean, I was there on an internship possibility with our advisor here, Rodney Knox. I almost forgot his last name. Damn. But yeah, it was a cool experience. Being able to see that game from the professional side of it. I had the opportunity to go on the field, sit in the press box, be in a professional locker room after the game. And just get some interviews and everything like that. Work on the professional side for the communications department for the 49ers. Sorry. And, it was just a fun experience, being able to see that professional side and see another avenue of journalism I can take, And I now know four ways I can go about it. I could either be a beat reporter, which honestly sounds like sounds insane considering the work that you'd have to do to be a beat reporter at the professional level. You can be an athletic director, which I didn't even know you can do that, which is actually kind of cool, but it kind of makes sense considering how much you're talking to people and everything. And then you can also be in the communications department, which, dealing with, I would imagine, all the magazines, some of the press, everything like that to a certain extent. But you know what? It's cool. It was a cool experience to be able to experience a professional game. And my first football game ever, believe it or not, and to experience it from that side and be able to walk on the field and everything, it was an amazing experience. But you, Christian, as a 49ers fan, you're going to do that soon. And of course, you're a big 49ers fan and you're a big football guy. After what I told you, what's going through your mind about it?
Honestly, I'm pumped because just to start off, that was a dominating game. Again, the 49ers scored 30 points exactly for the third week in a row. And I'm just excited because as long as the Niners continue to win, and by the time I go to the game for that shadow versus the internship versus Cincinnati, if they're still on a roll, the vibe there, I would imagine, is going to be immaculate.
Is your game a Saturday game?
No, it's a Sunday game.
Oh, it's a Sunday game. Yeah, my game was a Thursday game, which is, it was almost a sold-out crowd, which honestly I was really impressed by.
Mm-hmm.
And it was loud. I remember going down to the field for the last few plays of the game. It was loud. You 49er fans can get onto something, and I did not expect it.
Yeah, they can get a little rowdy. It's a great scene down there at Levi's. They've kind of, now that they've been starting to win and make the playoffs every year. There's more. There's a big crowds. They gather big crowds there at
Purdy movement.
Levi's.
Purdy movement.
Yeah. And speaking of Purdy, Brock Purdy, man, that guy is legit. If there was any question marks, there were still a few questionable throws, but overall, you're scoring 30 points every week with this guy at quarterback. That's all you really need, right? And then our defense is playing amazing, and Nick Bosa got his first sack of the year.
First sack that didn't even count.
Yeah.
The first safety that didn't count.
Yeah, it should have been a safety, but that's
I saw it with my own eyes. Yeah, should have. He was not down before that line.
I'm sure the fans let the rest have it.
Even from the press box with almost soundproof glass, that sound from the stadium when that call was made was insane. Yeah. You're gonna hear it yourself when you go.
I'm definitely excited to see Joey B.
But can we talk about the other elephant in the room when it comes to professional football over this weekend?
If you want to talk about it,
Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. That one came out of nowhere. Well, of course, not out of nowhere.
There was rumors.
There was rumors and everything.
Almost confirmed.
And he was pretty much talking about her ever since she's been on tour and in Kansas City.
Yeah, trying to get her to come to watch him now.
But he did.
Yeah,
he got her there.
Yeah,
and then
with his mom.
With his mom there in one of the boxes. Yeah, and then her wearing her famous red lipstick. Crazy coincidence that his team is red.
Yeah, red jersey. It makes perfect sense.
And then them being seen after the game leaving together. So of course the rumors are essentially confirmed pretty much at this point. And you know what? Big ups, Kelce.
Yeah, that's Taylor Swift. She's got a lot of money. So.
But Kelce too, he got a lot of money too. So
that's combined wealth for the future generations. If that,
but you know what? If they ever break up, split after being down the line, that album is gonna slap.
Yeah. There's gonna be a song called Arrowhead or something.
Arrowhead. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. Honestly, that was the story on Sunday in the NFL. I would scroll and
TikTok,
90%
Twitter,
of my
Instagram.
posts on anything was just videos or pictures or just anybody talking about Taylor being there in the booth next to Donna
Kelce. And then her reacting to everything that. So she was getting into everything. But you know what?
Like a big fan.
Especially if that's the one you're there for. So.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, that's pretty much all the time we had for today and on this recording. So everybody listening in, thank you for listening. Hope you all have a good one.
Yeah, thank you guys, and I hope you guys check out the SpearCast again next week.
And check us out on everything. The Spear SJSU, I believe it is, all of our ats.
Yeah.
The Spear SJSU, the Spear.com, to all of our writings and everything. And we'll see you all next time.
Peace.